The massive white hull of the Earth Medical Hospital ship Hope gleamed under the light of distant stars. Its red cross symbol, an ancient emblem of healing that had followed humanity from their first steps on Earth to their journey among the stars, glowed softly against the darkness of space. The vessel was truly a magnificent sight, over a kilometer in length, with wide observation windows and dozens of shuttle bays, designed for rapid patient transport. Captain James Walker stood at the bridge's main viewport, his experienced eyes scanning the space ahead. His gray hair and the subtle wrinkles around his eyes spoke of decades of service, but his straight posture and alert gaze showed no signs of waning dedication. The bridge crew worked quietly at their stations, maintaining the smooth operation of humanity's most advanced hospital ship. "Captain," called out the communications officer, "we're receiving a distress signal from mining colony Beta 7. They're reporting multiple cases of an unknown illness." Walker turned from the viewport. "Put it through to medical. Dr. Thompson needs to hear this firsthand." In the main medical bay, Dr. Mary Thompson was already reviewing the incoming data. Her steady hands moved across the holographic displays, analyzing the symptoms reported by the mining colony. 20 years of treating both human and alien patients had taught her that speed often meant the difference between life and death. Multiple patients with high fever, respiratory distress, and unusual skin discoloration. She muttered, then activated her comlink. "Bridge, this is Thompson. The symptoms match nothing in our database. We need to get there fast. These miners' lives depend on it." "Understood, Doctor." Walker's voice came through clearly. "Navigation, plot the fastest safe course to Beta 7. Engineering, prepare for sustained high-speed travel." The Hope's massive engines hummed to life, pushing the giant vessel through space at speeds that would have seemed impossible just a few decades ago. Inside, medical teams began their preparations. The ship's corridors buzzed with activity as staff members from every nation on Earth worked together, checking equipment and reviewing procedures. In the intensive care unit, Dr. Thompson supervised the preparation of isolation wards. The medical staff moved with practiced efficiency, their movements showing the results of countless drills and real emergencies. The Hope carried the latest in medical technology. Everything from basic dermal regenerators to sophisticated alien-compatible life support systems. "Remember," Thompson addressed her team, "we don't know if this illness affects humans, aliens, or both. Full containment protocols until we know more. Safety first. We can't help anyone if we get sick ourselves." As the ship approached Beta 7, the mining colony came into view, a collection of interconnected habitation domes and industrial structures built into a mineral-rich asteroid. The Hope's sensors detected 50 life signs, with 12 showing severe medical distress. Captain Walker's voice echoed through the ship's announcement system. "All hands, prepare for arrival at Beta 7. Medical teams to your stations. Security teams, standard protective formation. Remember, we're here to help, but stay alert. Space can be unpredictable." The Hope slowed its approach, its massive form casting a shadow over the mining colony. Emergency shuttle crews stood ready in their bays, medical equipment checked and double-checked. Dr. Thompson felt the familiar tension before a major operation, not fear, but focused anticipation. "First response team, with me," she commanded, heading toward the nearest shuttle bay. "Let's show these people what Earth's best medical ship can do." As the first shuttles launched from the Hope toward the colony, none of the crew could have guessed that their mission of mercy would soon trigger the largest military response in Earth's spacefaring history. They were healers, coming to help those in need, just as humanity had done for centuries. But soon, the galaxy would learn that humanity's capacity for healing was matched only by its resolve when threatened. The Hope held position above Beta 7, its presence a beacon of help and hope among the stars. For now, 3 hours into treating the miners at Beta 7, Dr. Thompson knew something wasn't right. The illness was spreading too quickly, following no natural pattern she had ever seen. She stood in the colony's main medical bay, studying blood samples through a portable analyzer while her team worked tirelessly around her. Dr. Thompson called one of her nurses. The new patients are showing different symptoms than the first group. It's like the disease is changing. Thompson frowned at the readings. Contact the Hope. Tell Captain Walker we need to evacuate everyone immediately. This isn't just an outbreak. Someone engineered this virus. Up on the Hope's bridge, Captain Walker received the message with growing concern. He had served on enough frontier posts to know when a situation smelled like a trap. Tactical, run a full sensor sweep. Maximum range, all frequencies. The tactical officer's fingers flew across his console. Sir, nothing unusual except... Wait. He paused, adjusting the controls. There's some kind of interference pattern in Sector 7. Could be natural, but... Before he could finish, space itself seemed to tear open. 3 massive warships materialized around the Hope, their black hulls decorated with jagged purple markings. Each was easily twice the size of the hospital ship, bristling with weapons. Shields up, Walker commanded, even though he knew the Hope's defensive screens were minimal, enough to deflect meteoroids and solar radiation, but useless against military-grade weapons. The main screen flickered to life, showing an alien figure. Its scaled face and glowing red eyes identified it as a member of the Dark Star Collective, a species known for their aggressive expansion and disdain for weaker races. Earth vessel, the alien commander's voice rumbled through the translator. Your reputation for advanced medical technology is well known. You will surrender your research data, equipment, and any special treatments. Comply, and we may let your crew live. Walker stood from his chair, shoulders straight. This is a clearly marked hospital ship on a humanitarian mission. We are protected under multiple interstellar treaties. Treaties? The alien interrupted with a sound like grinding metal. Their version of laughter. The strong take what they want. Your human ethics make you weak. You have 10 minutes to prepare for boarding, or we will destroy your vessel. Down in the colony, Dr. Thompson and her team worked frantically to stabilize their patients for emergency transport. The virus was clearly a Dark Star creation, a tool to lure the Hope into their trap. She activated her emergency beacon, broadcasting on all frequencies. This is Chief Medical Officer Thompson. We have 20 critical patients here. I repeat, 20 critical patients requiring immediate evacuation. Any nearby vessels, please respond. The only answer was static. On the Hope's bridge, Captain Walker faced an impossible choice. The ship carried revolutionary medical technologies, advances that could save millions of lives across the galaxy. But in the wrong hands, those same technologies could be twisted into weapons. Sir, his communications officer whispered, I've managed to establish a secure channel to Dr. Thompson. She reports that the virus was engineered by the Dark Star Collective. They're trying to steal our medical research. Walker's jaw tightened. He had hoped humanity could avoid conflict with the Dark Stars, but attacking a hospital ship that crossed a line no civilized species could ignore. Send an encoded transmission to Earth Command, he ordered quietly. Full situation report, including tactical data on the Dark Star ships. Then begin deleting our medical database. If they want our research, they'll have to work for it. The massive warships loomed closer, their weapons charged and ready. Inside the Hope, medical staff rushed to protect their patients while security teams took up defensive positions at key points. They were healers, not warriors, but they would protect their patients to the last. The 10-minute deadline ticked away, each second bringing them closer to the moment that would change the galaxy forever. The first blast hit the Hope's port side, rocking the massive hospital ship. Emergency lights flashed through the corridors as medical staff struggled to protect their patients. Captain Walker gripped his command chair as another impact shook the bridge. They're targeting our engines, the tactical officer reported, his voice steady despite the chaos. Minimal damage to the hull, but our shields won't last much longer. Dark shapes appeared on the external cameras. Dark Star boarding craft, approaching fast. Their pointed hulls looked like arrows aimed at the Hope's heart. Walker hit the ship-wide comm button. All hands, prepare for boarding. This is not a drill. Medical staff, activate emergency protocols and protect our patients. Security teams to your positions. In the main medical bay, Dr. Thompson worked quickly, moving critical patients to the secure inner wards. Her hands never shook, even as the ship trembled around her. A young nurse rushed up to her, face pale but determined. "Doctor, what about the research data?" the nurse asked. "Already handled," Thompson replied, checking a patient's vital signs. "Emergency purge completed 5 minutes ago. They can take our equipment, but they won't get our most advanced treatments." The first explosion of a boarding breach echoed through the ship. The sound of boots on metal followed. The Dark Star troops were inside. Security teams took positions at key intersections, their light weapons seeming tiny compared to what they faced. In Ward C, Dr. Thompson heard screaming. She ran toward the sound, only to see 2 Dark Star soldiers threatening a group of patients. Their scaled faces showed no emotion as they pointed weapons at the sick and injured. "Stop." Thompson moved between the soldiers and her patients. "These people are under medical care. You can't." One soldier struck her with his weapon, sending her sprawling. But she got up again, blood running from her lip. "I took an oath to protect my patients. You'll have to kill me first." The second soldier raised his weapon, but his companion stopped him. "The commander wants medical staff alive. They know how the equipment works." On the bridge, Walker watched in horror as his security teams fell back, overwhelmed by superior weapons and armor. But they made the Dark Stars pay for every meter, protecting the patients and medical staff as best they could. "Sir," the communications officer called out, "I've got a secure channel open. We can still send one last burst transmission to Earth." Walker nodded. "Send everything. Battle footage, sensor data, crew logs. Show Earth what they did to a hospital ship." The message shot out, racing through subspace moments before the Dark Stars cut their communications. Walker stood as his bridge doors exploded inward, facing the boarding party with quiet dignity. In the medical bay, Dr. Thompson had gathered as many patients and staff as she could in the secure ward. The reinforced doors would hold. For a while, she looked at the scared faces around her. Human nurses, alien patients, all depending on her. "Listen to me," she said firmly. "Earth will not abandon us. Help is coming. We just have to hold on." A massive crash shook the ship. Through the ward's small window, Thompson saw escape pods launching. Some of her staff had managed to get patients out. Good. Every life saved was a victory. The Dark Star troops now controlled most of the Hope. They moved through its pristine white corridors like a stain, their black armor a stark contrast to the ship's medical purpose. But they found less than they expected. No secret research files, no advanced treatment protocols, just basic medical equipment and supplies. What they didn't realize was that their victory would be short-lived. The brutality they showed today would seal their fate, because at that very moment, Earth was receiving the Hope's final transmission, and humanity's response would shake the galaxy to its core. The United Earth Defense Council chamber had never been so quiet. On the massive central screen, footage from the Hope's final transmission played, showing Dark Star troops attacking patients, medical staff fighting to protect the sick, and the brutal boarding of a clearly marked hospital ship. Admiral Robert Stone stood at the podium, his weathered face grim as the recording ended. The chamber remained silent for several long moments, the weight of what they had witnessed settling over the 200 assembled representatives. The attack on the Hope was not random. Stone's deep voice filled the chamber. "We have proof that the Dark Star Collective has violated 16 separate peace treaties in the past year alone. They engineered a virus to lure our medical ships. They planned this." Holograms appeared above the council tables, showing maps of other attacks, intercepted communications, and surveillance data. The evidence was overwhelming. But they made one crucial mistake. Stone continued, his eyes hard as steel. They thought our dedication to peace meant we were weak. They forgot that humanity spent thousands of years perfecting the art of war before we chose peace. In orbit high above Earth, massive hangar doors hidden in asteroid bases began to open. Ships that had been kept secret for decades emerged into the sunlight. Warships built not for show, but for combat. Their dark hulls absorbed radar. Their weapons were the product of centuries of human innovation in warfare. Back in the council chamber, the defense minister stood. The Dark Star Collective believes they can attack our hospital ships with impunity. They believe we lack the will or the means to respond. They are wrong. The chamber's displays showed more vessels emerging from hidden bases across the solar system. Sleek destroyers, massive carriers, specialized assault ships. Humanity's hidden fleet was larger than any alien race had suspected. We built these ships hoping we'd never need them, Admiral Stone explained. We wanted to believe that advanced civilizations would respect basic decency, that even in war, medical ships would be sacred. The Dark Stars proved us wrong. A junior officer rushed in, handing Stone a datapad. He read it, his expression darkening further. "We've just lost contact with the Hope completely," he announced. "No distress signals. No transponder. Nothing." The chamber erupted in angry shouts and calls for immediate action. The council president raised his hands for silence. "We will vote now," he declared, "on the motion to authorize full military response against the Dark Star Collective and the deployment of Earth's complete defense fleet. Those in favor." Every hand in the chamber rose. There was no debate, no hesitation. For the first time in Earth's spacefaring history, its representatives voted unanimously for war. Admiral Stone turned to his command staff. "Initiate Operation Rapid Response. All ships to battle stations. I want the fleet ready to jump in 6 hours." Across the solar system, crews rushed to their ships. Weapons were armed, engines warmed up, battle plans distributed. In secure bunkers, AI tactical systems came online, processing combat scenarios and attack strategies. On the flagship Retribution, Stone stood on his bridge, watching as more ships joined the formation. Each vessel represented decades of hidden technological advancement, innovations the peaceful Earth had developed but chosen not to share. Signal from Defense Command. "Sir," his communications officer reported. "All ships report ready. The fleet awaits your orders." Stone looked at the tactical display, showing the Hope's last known position. The Dark Stars thought they had attacked Earth's weakness, its commitment to helping others. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous, humanity's resolve to protect that commitment, no matter the cost. "Set course for Beta 7, Stone commanded. The Dark Stars wanted to see humanity's true strength. Let's not keep them waiting. The sight of Earth's war fleet assembling would have struck fear into any enemy's heart. Over 500 warships moved into formation, their dark hulls gleaming under the light of distant stars. Each vessel represented the peak of human military technology. Weapons and systems kept hidden until they were truly needed. Admiral Stone stood on the Retribution's command deck, watching as more ships joined the formation. His flagship was a marvel of engineering. 3 kilometers of armored hull, advanced shielding, and enough firepower to reduce a small moon to rubble. "Status report," he ordered, his voice calm despite the gravity of the moment. "All battle groups report ready, Admiral," his executive officer replied. "Task Force Alpha through Echo are in position. Carrier groups are launching fighter squadrons for combat space patrol." Through the massive bridge windows, Stone watched as swarms of fighters emerged from their carrier ships. The small craft moved with perfect precision, their pilots executing maneuvers that would have been impossible for most alien races. "Sir," called out his tactical officer, "Defense Command has uploaded the final battle plans. The Dark Stars have no idea we can track them through hyperspace. We'll catch them completely by surprise." In the fleet's medical wing, emergency response ships prepared for combat operations. These weren't ordinary hospital ships like the Hope. They were armored medical vessels designed for battlefield conditions. Their crews were both healers and warriors, ready to fight their way through enemy lines to rescue the wounded. The fleet's communication channels buzzed with activity as final preparations were made. Each ship carried specialized equipment designed to counter known dark star technology. The aliens thought they knew humanity's capabilities. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "Message from engineering, sir," reported a bridge officer. "The new quantum targeting systems are online. All ships report their stealth systems are functioning at peak efficiency." Stone nodded, studying the tactical displays. The fleet had been divided into specialized task forces, each with its own mission. Some would rescue the Hope's crew and patients. Others would engage the Dark Star warships. And some would push deeper into enemy territory, showing the collective exactly what happened when they provoked humanity's wrath. In the fighter squadrons, pilots ran final checks on their craft. These weren't the simple ships aliens had seen before. They were advanced aerospace fighters equipped with technology that had been kept secret for decades. Their weapons could pierce dark star shields, their sensors could detect cloaked vessels, and their pilots were the best humanity had to offer. "All ships, battle stations," Stone's order echoed through the fleet. "This is not a revenge mission. We are going to rescue our people and show the galaxy that attacking medical ships will not be tolerated." The massive engines of Earth's warships hummed to life. Energy readings spiked across the fleet as weapons powered up and shields reached full strength. In the void of space, the formation looked like a massive arrow pointed at the heart of Dark Star territory. "Admiral," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving messages from other species. They're offering to join our fleet. They want to help rescue the Hope." Stone allowed himself a small smile. The Dark Stars had believed attacking the hospital ship would show humanity's weakness. Instead, it had revealed their strength, not just in weapons and ships, but in the allies they had made through their dedication to helping others. "Jump coordinates are locked in, sir," reported the navigation officer. "The fleet is ready." Admiral Stone took one last look at the assembled armada. Humanity had chosen peace, had dedicated itself to healing and exploration. But they had never forgotten how to fight. The Dark Stars were about to learn that lesson the hard way. "All ships, prepare for jump," he commanded. "Let's bring our people home." Space itself seemed to tear open as Earth's fleet emerged from hyperspace. 500 warships appeared simultaneously, surrounding the Dark Star forces in a perfect sphere of overwhelming firepower. The Hope floated in the center of the formation, still under guard by the 3 Dark Star warships that had attacked it. Admiral Stone stood on the Retribution's bridge, his expression cold as ice. "Open a channel to all Dark Star vessels." The main screen flickered to life, showing the surprised face of the Dark Star commander. The alien's red eyes widened at the sight of Earth's massive fleet. "This is impossible," the Dark Star leader hissed. "Earth has no warships of this size. No weapons of this caliber." "You're wrong," Stone replied calmly. "We have always had them. We simply chose not to use them. Until now." He straightened his uniform. "Release our medical ship and surrender your forces immediately." The Dark Star commander's scales bristled with anger. "You dare threaten the collective? We do not surrender to lesser." "Target their engines," Stone ordered, cutting off the alien's rant. "Disable their ships. Rescue teams, stand by." The Retribution's main guns fired first, a single precise shot that sliced through the lead Dark Star ship's shields like they weren't even there. The alien vessel's engine section went dark instantly, its advanced defenses useless against human weapons they had never seen before. "Impossible," the Dark Star commander shouted. "Our shields are the strongest in the galaxy." "We're the strongest," Stone corrected. "You're looking at 50 years of human military innovation. Technology we developed but never used, because we preferred peace." His voice hardened. "But you attacked a hospital ship. You crossed the one line no civilized species should ever cross." More Earth ships opened fire, their weapons precisely targeted to disable rather than destroy. Fighter squadrons swept in, using advanced jamming technology to confuse Dark Star targeting systems. Within minutes, all 3 enemy warships hung powerless in space. Boarding teams, move in, Stone commanded. Secure the Hope and rescue our people. Medical teams, prepare to receive casualties. Earth's assault shuttles launched, carrying heavily armed rescue teams. They breached the Hope's hull using precision charges, catching the Dark Star boarding parties completely by surprise. The aliens found themselves facing human soldiers in powered armor suits, wielding weapons that could pierce their strongest personal shields. In the Hope's medical bay, Dr. Thompson heard the sounds of fighting growing closer. She had kept her patients safe in the secure ward, refusing to give up even when the Dark Stars threatened her life. Now she heard familiar voices in the corridor. Medical team, call out if you can hear us. In here, Thompson shouted. We have wounded. The rescue teams breached the ward's door, Earth Marines sweeping in with weapons ready. Behind them came medical staff in combat gear, a new type of battlefield medic the Dark Stars had never seen before. On the bridge, Captain Walker watched as his ship was systematically retaken. The Earth forces moved with incredible precision, disabling the Dark Star troops with advanced stun weapons. Even now, facing those who had attacked a medical vessel, humanity showed restraint. Admiral, the tactical officer reported, we're detecting more Dark Star ships coming out of hyperspace, a counterattack force. Stone nodded calmly. Let them come. Let them see exactly what happens when someone attacks our medical personnel. He turned to his fleet commanders. All ships, defensive formation Delta. Show them why humanity was feared in ancient times. The new Dark Star vessels emerged from hyperspace and straight into the guns of Earth's waiting fleet. Their weapons blazed, their shields flared, and they proved completely inadequate against humanity's superior technology. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries as the day the galaxy learned why humans had chosen peace, not because they were weak, but because they were strong enough to avoid war until it was absolutely necessary. 1 month after the battle at Beta 7, the EMHS Hope floated in orbit above Earth, its hull bearing the scars of the Dark Star attack. Repair crews worked steadily to restore the magnificent hospital ship to its former glory. The Red Cross emblem still glowed proudly, now surrounded by additional defensive shields, a reminder that humanity would never again let its healers go unprotected. Dr. Thompson stood in the newly rebuilt medical bay, organizing supplies with her staff. Many faces were new replacements for those lost in the attack, but their spirit remained unbroken. If anything, their dedication to healing had grown stronger. Doctor, a young nurse called out, the Dark Star patients are responding well to treatment. Their burns are healing faster than expected. Thompson nodded, checking the medical readings. Even the Dark Star soldiers wounded in the battle were receiving the same level of care as any other patient. It was humanity's way, to heal without discrimination, even those who had once been enemies. In the ship's conference room, Captain Walker met with Admiral Stone and representatives from various alien species. The attack on the Hope had changed galactic politics forever. No one had expected Earth's response to be so swift, so overwhelming, and yet so measured in its execution. The Dark Star Collective has agreed to all terms, Stone announced, his voice carrying the weight of victory. They will respect all medical vessels, regardless of species. Their leadership will stand trial for war crimes. And most importantly, they have agreed to share information about their bioweapons program. Walker looked out the window at Earth below. And our fleet? Will it return to hiding? No, Stone replied. The galaxy now knows our strength, but they also know we use it only when necessary. Our warships will now escort medical vessels of all species. The Hope will never travel alone again. In orbit around Beta 7, where it all began, a new station was under construction. Its purpose was simple but powerful. A neutral medical facility open to all species, protected by Earth's most advanced defensive systems. It would stand as a monument to both humanity's dedication to healing and their resolve to protect that mission. Dr. Thompson visited the station later that day, supervising the installation of new medical equipment. The mining colony below was thriving again, its people recovered from the engineered virus. But now they had permanent medical support, their safety guaranteed by regular Earth patrols. "Incoming ship, Doctor," a technician reported. "It's a Dark Star medical transport requesting permission to dock. They want to learn our treatment methods." Thompson smiled. This was the real victory, not the defeat of the Dark Star fleet, but their recognition that cooperation in healing was better than conflict. Grant them clearance. Prepare orientation materials. Back on the Hope, Captain Walker reviewed the ship's new mission orders. They would return to their humanitarian work, but now with a small escort of Earth's most advanced warships. The galaxy had learned that humanity's dedication to peace wasn't weakness. It was a choice made by a species powerful enough to enforce it. Message from Earth Command. "Sir," his communications officer reported. "More alien species are requesting medical partnerships. They want to join our humanitarian missions." Walker nodded, feeling pride in humanity's response to the crisis. They had shown the galaxy both sides of their nature: unmatched power in war and unwavering dedication to peace. In her quarters that evening, Dr. Thompson looked at a photo of her medical team, taken before the attack. Some faces were now only memories, but their legacy lived on. The Hope would continue its mission, healing those in need across the stars. But now everyone knew that behind humanity's helping hands lay an iron fist, one that would strike without mercy if their humanitarian mission was ever threatened again. The Hope's engines hummed to life, preparing for its next mission. Above and below, Earth warships took up escort positions. The galaxy watched as humanity returned to its work of healing, now with the full knowledge that these peaceful doctors and their magnificent hospital ship were protected by the most powerful fleet in known space.